What is up, besties? It is your girl Karmic, back to you again with another video. And this time we did a deep dive into Drake Bell. Now, before I forget to say this, I didn't get room for Drake and Josh. So if you want a part 2 where we cover Drake and Josh, let me know in the comments down below. And like whoever writes that comment if you're into it as well. But, well, first, if you hear like whiny, mopey, I have a Pisces dog that's like right here. So I don't know if you can see her. She got shit all over my couch. Anyway, the point. So in today's reading, it is a double. I took a look at, in the first half, we covered Drake Bell and the situation with Brian Peck and what went down. I also looked at if Dan Schneider knew about it and what was the industry like on set at that time. And Boogie came through as well. Fun fact, the guy who interviewed Dan Schneider, he came through. So that was interesting. And it's 2:22 on my clock. So anyway, and in the second half, we covered the allegations of Drake with the underage girl, what really happened. And then at the very end, there's like a little summary. So yeah. Thank you to everybody that sits through 30 seconds of ads. It's a free and easy way to support my page. Hi to all my regulars. Hi, besties. I love you guys. I hope that you're doing well. Thank you, as always, for just being a part of my life and being a part of this channel. I'm trying to build a place where we can all, you know, search for truth, but be kind and, you know, just coexist in the comments. Let's be cool. Let's keep this, you know, I want a good environment on this page. And I know we cover some dark and dismal-ish. So, you know, just remember, be kind to those around you. And yeah. So, I don't have much to say because honestly, I just did the reading and I feel disgusting. So, I'm personally going to go outside. And if you feel gross after this reading, maybe you should do the same. But if you guys are looking to book a personal reading with me, you can now do that through my website in the description box down below. It will take up to 3 weeks. You want a good reading, not a rushed one. So, please bear with me. I'm just one person. And if you guys want, you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. All the links are down below, and you'll be the first to know when another video comes out. So if I get lost in your algorithm, there you go. But yeah, honestly, I'm just looking forward to this industry going down. All of it. The Nickelodeon, celebrity stardom, Holly Weird, all of it. I'm looking forward to it. I swear, all these people are going to keep getting outed, so I'm always going to have content to make. But that being said, y'all, please give me some ideas that aren't this dark, because I love you guys and I know that I started this series. But oh my God, the energy is just so, ugh. And I'd really like to do something fun. So, you know, if anybody's into like Y2K nostalgia, millennial era, I want to like look at old celebrity couples like, I don't know, off the top of my head, Jessica Simpson and Nick Lachey. Just stuff like that. Like, let's do some fun, lighthearted shit. Is there anything about couples in the past that you used to have questions about? Like, why'd they really divorce or stuff like that? Because you know how celebrities lie, allegedly. No facts here. But as always, this is alleged, and for entertainment purposes only. There are 0 facts here. I know nothing. I've never met these people. These are just opinions based on my weird ass talking to some dead people. All right? So, all alleged and for entertainment purposes only. Please take care of yourselves and stay safe, stay free, stay blessed. Love you guys. My energy's crap. I'm sorry. So, without further ado, besties, I love you. Let's get into it. All right, besties. So, this is the one I was avoiding. But we are going to take a look at Drake, Brian, and Dan. I keep hearing, I forget what movie it's from. No, Little Black Book. Yeah, because it's all about secrets. Where Bernie Murphy's going, you knew? Everybody knew? So I'm seeing people turn a blind eye. So was Drake essayed? Yes, I believe him. Because I'm seeing everybody turning a blind eye. And I don't buy that Dan didn't know. I don't buy that because I just keep hearing, you knew, everybody knew. So I feel like there was because you know what I'm hearing is like real recognize real, but then they're showing me pedos. So it's like pedo recognize pedo. You know what I mean? So yeah, because they're showing me Dan, and they're showing me Brian. And on Brian, I'm seeing light blue, and on Dan, I'm seeing light pink. And if you don't know, you know. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's part of the industry, y'all. You've seen all these readings I do on all these celebrities, Jay-Z, Diddy, all of them. It's just fucking normalized. So you're not gonna tell me that Dan didn't know. Bullshit. I'm seeing this scene from a movie where they play a game called Bullshit. No, this was just no. Dan knew. But I see Dan being like, Dan has the mentality of a child, which is what, and psychologists say that as offenders of people under legal age, they have the mentality of a child. So it's like Dan's a child, Brian's a child, and they're adults in children's bodies. And so for them, it's like they just don't get it. And I'm not saying that it's okay, but I'm saying that they don't get what's wrong. It's almost like adults don't like me, but children get me. And so it's like, I hate doing these readings because unfortunately in their brain, it makes sense. It makes sense to me, which makes me hate it. But I have to explain it to you guys. Like, I'm not saying that this is okay, nor will it ever be okay. But it's like they're mentally stunted. So it almost feels like I'm reading someone who is the right age for a teen or a child. It's very fucking weird. Whatever. I don't know. Every time I do these readings, I get really mad, and then I need like a shower and a nice day after this. So let's just do this, all right? This is all alleged, if I hadn't said that already. And for entertainment purposes only, there are zero facts here. What went on with Drake and Brian, and did Dan know? It happened. It definitely happened. This feels to me like Brian has a savior complex. And notice how I stuttered when I said that? I think you know what I'm hearing is coward and spineless. I know Brian's feelings don't matter because fuck that guy. But he's got this energy of like, nobody likes me. Nobody understands me. But he's fucking weird because he likes kids. You know what I mean? So it's like, I keep hearing the song Blurred Lines. I hate reading this energy because listen, hear me out. In order to tell you what I'm feeling, I have to embody it, which means that right now I'm in the energy of someone who likes kids, which is not fucking cool. So I'm having a battle of brain and heart. So give me a moment here. Brian has a feminine energy to him. Honestly, it would not shock me if in a past life, if you're into that, he was a woman. Because he literally came out as the Queen of Cups. It's like, I want to save you. I want to fix you. I want to nurture you. I feel Brian being like, oh my God, this is fucking sick. I heard Love Struck in my mind. I see, oh my God, this is disgusting. Oh my God. I see Brian like head in his hand, watching Drake and being completely enamored. Just being like, oh my God, this kid is so beautiful. Oh my God. Like I'm looking at, like God, I hate this. I hate this so much. But I'm Brian, right? And I'm watching Drake perform, and I'm like, oh my God, he's got that it factor. He's beautiful. He could be a star. Like, did he cherry pick Drake? Like, how did... fucking haven't watched the Set show in a while, the series, but it feels like it's like he cherry picked him intuitively. It's like because I'm seeing a shark and how they can smell blood like a mile away. I feel like I need a new word so that I can get away with this. What's another word for people that are disgusting and despicable and like kids? Oh my God, I don't know. Whatever. Is there like a Pathrito? How about that? Pathrito. I don't know. I'm trying not to get canceled. But with that Two of Wands, oh my God, that's friction, that's tension, that's sexual tension. Something that I'm embarrassed and ashamed about with that Judgment card in the reverse. You're not gonna, yeah, Drake's telling the truth, y'all. I'm sorry. But anyway, yeah, there's something here about Brian meets Drake, and it's just like, you're the one. It's almost like, it's so fucked up, but I gotta tell you what I'm seeing. Like, you remember when you were like in middle school and you were like, because they're showing me like me in middle school and I fell for a guy, and it's like you're goo goo gaga and like you're not emotionally developed, so it's like you hyper fixate on that person and, you know, you project everything onto them. Like, I'm seeing Brian doing that to Drake. It's so... Okay, moving forward, I'm going to have to remove my emotions to be able to do this reading, which means I'm going to touch on things that are disturbing and I'm going to leave my emotions out of it. So moving forward, I want to make it abundantly clear that this is absolutely despicable and disgusting and I'm not okay with it. But if I keep using my emotions, I'm not going to be able to do this reading. So I have to tap out of my emotions and I have to embody these fucking people. So moving forward, I just want to make it clear that I am not okay with none of this. But for me to be able to channel, I have to remove my emotions. So moving forward, forgive me for just making this sound like it's normal. But there's just nothing I can do. Did he have a getaway with Brian at one point? Like, did he take him on an island or something? Because I'm being drawn to this water and it's reminding me of like alone. Like we're alone and I'm setting the mood. Oh my I'm setting the mood. I'm setting the tone. I'm trying to win you over. Like, I'm Brian. You're Drake. I'm enamored with you, and I'm trying to win you over. How, if I play like I'm a parental figure, maybe I can woo you. Like, very diluted. Yep. Three of Pentacles in the reverse. Are we shocked? Out of my comfort. I would not be shocked if Brian was a victim too. Because it's like out of my comfort zone, unhealthy work environment, memories of the past, childhood. That's negative. It's in the reverse. I also feel like, what's Drake's story with his parents? Because it just feels like I want to save you from your parents. I want to save you. There's a savior complex that's going on, and I don't really understand it. And then Three of Pentacles in reverse. This one always reminds me of abuse in the workplace. Look at it. Quite literally. But notice how this one's kind of smirking. This reminds me of Brian. This reminds me of Dan. So I feel like Dan knew what was going on, but for him it's normalized because he's doing it. He's just doing it with little girls. But for him, it's like me and Drake, we bond because we're boys. So I do feel that Dan didn't like that Drake was getting hurt, but he knew about it. But it's like, again, these kids, that I literally slipped up and said kids. They have the emotional intelligence of children. So when you're in the energy, it's kind of hard because it's like, it feels like I'm reading kids and it's really fucking bizarre. But anyway, yeah, Drake was abused at work. 100%. I completely agree with his story. Allegedly, and for entertainment purposes only, no facts. Because look at how she looks all prim and proper, and it's reminding me of Brian. It's like, I keep hearing the song, I Can Be Your Hero, baby. Like, anyway. Seven of Pentacles, I'm out of my comfort zone. I feel like Brian was like, Drake's worth the risk. I'll take it. That's where Brian was at. Yeah, Lovers in the reverse. I know that I'm not supposed to be, but I'm into you. Like, and I feel like there was a jealousy too. Like, I almost see him being like, I feel like he probably secluded Drake sometimes because it's like, I don't like you hanging out with other kids. I don't like you being around other people. I don't like you focusing on anybody but me. And Brian, when I Googled, said it was a Leo. So an uninvolved Leo, it makes some sense, unfortunately. But also with this Lovers card in reverse, this makes me feel like people knew. Look at how this person's spying. I don't feel like Brian really made it. You know how they showed Quiet on Set and like Dan just normalized workers giving him massages? I feel like Brian had a similar type of thing where it's like maybe he was a little too close to Drake all the time and people saw it, but they were just kind of turning a blind eye because it's like, I don't even want to let my head go there. So not only is this true, but there are other workers on the set that are adults that were turning a blind eye because it's like, I don't want to get fired. I don't want to get in trouble. And so you got adults on fucking set that knew this was happening, but didn't want to say anything. And now I'm being drawn to Boogie. And he's the one who interviewed Dan Schneider. So I almost feel like Boogie, you know what's weird? I wanted to do a reading on this separately, but I guess not. You know how Dan did the YouTube apology with the whatever? When I look at Boogie, I'm seeing Usher in my mind's eye. And we all know how Usher allegedly was groomed by Diddy. So is it possible that Boogie was groomed? Because it kind of gives me the vibe of like Stockholm. I feel like there's a lot of people in this industry that had a weird form of career Stockholm, where it's like once you're in the industry, even if you're against it, you can't say shit because you'll lose your ability to, yeah, because I'm seeing someone go. This is probably why there is a lot of one-hit wonders. I've said this about music, but now I'm seeing it with acting too, where there's like someone that comes up on the scene and they're hot and they do like one really good movie and then you never see them again and they're in like B movies and you're like, why didn't you go up? I feel like it's because there's like a certain type of acceptance of this behavior, but it's not like I accept it and I'm okay with it. It's more like, again, I see this throughout the entire industry. There are people that run the show that push and test your moral compass. And the more you're willing to push your moral compass, the higher up you go. I see it in every single crooked reading I do. And so people that stay on set, it's given me hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. So, you know, when Alexa Nichols comes out and she's pissed that no one's speaking, she has every right to be mad because that's why Brittany Murphy came through in my head. Everybody knew. Everybody knew. You're not going to convince me that the other adults on set didn't know that this was going on. This was normalized, allegedly. God, it's really hard not to be angry. Yeah, with Brian, I'm hearing the song that don't impress me much. He's not... He doesn't like adults. It's almost giving me like, you know how like young little boys, like they'll test their parents and they do like, you know, just dumb shit. They'll throw temper tantrums, slam doors. I mean, young girls do too, but focus here, example. That's kind of the vibe. Like I look at this girl and it's like, well, my peers treat me like shit and my peers don't see my worth and my peers don't love me, but the kids do. And so Brian feels like the adults don't appreciate his worth and blah, 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 blah. And so then he grooms these kids because he feels like a camaraderie with the kids. It's like the weird uncle that sits with the kids at the wedding. You know what I mean? That's the vibe it's giving me. And it's because the weird uncle is the weird uncle. With the adults don't know how to talk to him. So he's ostracized from the adult side. And so he goes to the kid side. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying this is okay. I'm saying from Brian's perspective, it's like, you know, adults can sense when other adults aren't normal, you know? And I feel like they sensed it. And so it's like, I don't know how he came to fame, but I see a lot of people tolerating him because it's like he could get you in somewhere. He can help you. He's got the strings to pull. So it's like, I want you around for career reasons, what you can do for us financially, how you can get us seen, but I know you're nasty, so I don't want to be your friend. I don't want to know you. And so this is part of why Brian like hyper fixated on kids. Not only do I feel like he's gay, allegedly, but because he was, I think, very young on. Like, I'm talking like before he was on the scene, even when like early 20s. He gives me the vibe of that kid that everybody feels like will probably like shoot up a school. Like, that's Brian's energy. It's like he's awkward, he's weird, he's off, he's different. So that's why he kind of blends in well with kids. He's got that emotional immaturity, that emotional lack of intelligence. Yeah, it's like what's hidden is my relationship status. It's like I'm trying to find a boyfriend. And people are on to me even though I'm hiding it. Look at every time look, the Lover's card, there's someone watching. I'm hiding, Solitude, the Hermit card, someone's watching. People knew. You're not going to convince me people didn't know. And I think this is why Drake ended up becoming kind of narcissistic, allegedly, at least the past few years. Can you imagine this happening to you? And everybody knows and no one's saying anything? Like, Dan knew. You're not going to convince me Dan didn't know. Everybody knew. This was fucking normalized. It's like, it's the cost of the game. It's like, people are just fucking cowards in this industry because I see them knowing and them going, no. It's part of my imagination. Nope, not even going to go there. Nope, I'd lose my job if I went there. And it's like, are you kidding me? Your job's more important than a kid, but whatever. Anyway, so yeah, this is Brian hiding his relationship preferences, and he was afraid that people were going to find out. A wish unfulfilled. Yeah, because in order for me to have you, I had to manipulate the situation. So did Drake say he was drugged? Because I see that. 3 cups in the reverse feels like I'm at a party. Something's up. And then look at how she's in the water. So it's like something is making me feel trapped, making me feel like I'm off, making me feel like I'm kind of... Did he give Drake alcohol too? Because this feels like drugs and alcohol. It's reminding me of the P. Diddy Usher reading I did, where it was the Justin Bieber rise to fame, where it's like we're kind of grooming you by giving you the parties and telling you can have the girls, and little do you know we're drugging. And I feel like drugging and drinking and then sexually assaulting people is just a really fucking normal thing in the industry. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think people that you are fans of that haven't even said shit, I guarantee, honestly, Spirit, give me a percentage, because I can't get out of my feelings with this one. At least 50% of people in the industry have been sexually assaulted, allegedly. At least. And I feel like I'm being nice by saying that number because of how normalized this is. It's like it's the cost of the game. The further up, the more money someone has, the more you need to ask how they got that money. And it's either abuse or victim of it. Yeah, abuse of power, literally. Dose of realism. Ugh. This is Drake realizing that nobody was in his corner. That's fucking heartbreaking. Nobody's in my corner. And then this is also reminding me of Dan, and I feel like he went to Dan. So, okay, so that adds up with the story of him asking for a letter. But you're not going to convince me Dan didn't know. Everybody knew. Everybody knew. Did he have a mom that didn't really show up for him? Yeah, because there's Drake. I think this was the death of his youth. I think this was the death of his spirit. I think he stopped loving himself after this, and I think he started to take it out on women because he likes women. He never was... Because I see like Hush. So he was the kid on the paperwork, but it just kind of feels like it got brushed under the rug. Like there was no real justice. Drake feels like his first justice came when the Quiet on Set docuseries came out. This man has not felt like he had justice ever in his life. And this is why he disrespects women the way that he does. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm simply saying, like, I want to cry because now I'm in his energy. And it's like, my parents aren't protecting me. Work's not protecting me. Is there supposed to be people that like watch out for the kids? Because I feel like there's people that's supposed to be watching out for the kids. They're not protecting me. I feel like he spoke up eventually. It became a thing where, you know, Brian was in trouble, but that was not the first time he spoke up. It was not. He has mentioned it before. I want to cry being in his energy. Oh my God, this man has so much suppressed pain. I mean, he's a Cancer, so that's not shocking. Cancers will try everything not to be a burden on other people. And it's like, honey, just let your emotions flow. But he has held it in and he takes it out on women. That's the problem. That's the issue with Drake. It's like he doesn't feel safe at all. And I think there's a maternal wound. I don't really know what his story is with his mother, but it's just like, here's the thing. Imagine you're a child and then your youth is fucking taken away from you. You're going to be angry. You're going to be in a survival state. You're not going to know how to trust anybody. You're going to be like a feral cat. And so being in this energy, it's kind of hard for me to just be like, Drake's a bad guy. Like when we go into the alleged him hurting a younger girl, I mean, I highly recommend all of you, if you want, put it in your add to later list or whatever. But on Netflix, there's a movie called The Shack. It's a religious movie, but it's not religious like, you know, Bible thumper religious. It's actually really good, but it'll make you understand why I'm having a hard time just being like, Drake is evil for what he did after. I'm seeing a fucking theme, and I've been seeing a theme where this has been normalized for decades. Like, I feel like Diddy had an abuser. So, and it feels like Brian had an abuser. So this feels like it's a string that just keeps going and going and going and going. And with that world card, it's like, it's finally ending in the industry itself. People are finally, it's like an avalanche was set off and now everybody's fucking stepping forward because they all feel safe, because it's like when one speaks out, then a couple more speaks out. I keep telling y'all, this is going to continue to happen. People are going to continue to speak out because they're being inspired by other people. But I do feel like Drake has some sort of mom wound that got triggered. And now this is why he kind of like, he takes it out on women because it's like, no one ever saved me. No one ever had my back. I was a child. And I see him like, it's like a fracture of self. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if he had like bipolar or just really strong highs and lows, because it's just kind of like, for him to have survived the way that he has for so long, he had to shut it off. It's like, I have to put it in a box and compartmentalize. And so when you don't deal with the root cause of your pain, you're going to get triggered by everything. So when someone shows you love, because it's reminded me of Justin Bieber so much. It's like when someone shows you love, that's foreign to you. You see it as a setup because you've been abused. So, you know, to anybody who you're like, why can't I have healthy love? Chances are you had a hard childhood, and when healthy love shows up on your door, you go, what's the catch? And that's what I keep seeing with all of these celebrities. It's like they get hurt, they get abused, something bad happens, their psyche cracks, and then they continue the cycle of abuse. I mentioned Bieber, and then Page of Cups shows up. I swear to God, that's like my Bieber card. Yeah, this is about him finally speaking his truth about what he went through when he was a child. I feel like it was very cathartic for him is the word I'm hearing, because it's now like, now you understand why I was the way I was. Now you see that I'm not just this monster that's like crazy and blah, blah, blah. He feels seen now. And I think this might be a good step for Drake to head in the right direction, on the right path, because now the wound is being addressed. Like, notice all the water that's around her, and he's a Cancer. So it's giving me the vibe of like, this is helping me cleanse my spirit. It's helping me because now I'm being heard. I feel like he was gaslit prior to it actually coming out, allegedly. You're not going to convince me that the first time he spoke up, that's when the whole lawsuit thing happened. Bullshit. Bullshit. He told multiple fucking people. They just didn't want to. It's like, no, not Brian. He would never. Or, no, Brian's just a little off. Or, I can't even go there. Brian's in control. Like, there was a lot of people that failed these fucking kids. A lot of people. And I'm being brought back to Boogie. I feel like Boogie is like, he's like the Nickelodeon Usher. I'm not saying that he grooms kids. I don't know. I'd have to do a separate reading. You'd have to let me know if y'all want to see that. I didn't even know who that guy was. But I feel like there are just adults on the set back in the day that knew but didn't want to know. So it's like, I have an inclination, not going to go there. And they failed these kids. Failed them. And Drake was just one of many. Yeah, tumultuous, but moving on. Burden not worth having. I do feel like right now in Drake's life, everything's kind of like up in the air. Because now it's like, now I've let this go. Now the internet knows about what's happened to me. I can finally breathe. I don't have that much more conflict anymore. Now it's time for me to heal. But also, now I actually have to face all of it. And I've been kind of putting it in a box because it hurt and no one was listening. And I don't feel like Drake felt like he got justice, and I feel like that is why he went on quiet on set. I see him being like, this is not enough. Like, I don't know if he got a payoff or a lawsuit or whatever, and Brian went to jail. I don't remember what happened. Forgive me, didn't look it up before I did this. But I see Drake being like, he feels like he was fucked until quiet on set actually happened. Because now it's like, now everybody knows the truth. Now everybody knows how fucked up the adults were. They didn't have our backs. We were never safe. But now he's actually having to face those emotions. So I do think he's struggling right now. So regardless of what we get into the story with the girl, regardless, I feel the need to say leave him alone. Because it's just like, his world is crumbling because now it's like, I have to look at it. Yeah, because you know what I'm hearing is the Michael Jackson song where it's like, I'm starting with the man in the mirror. So it's like, I'm changing my way. He literally says, I'm changing my ways. So I do feel like this will be a turning point in Drake's life. He's probably grieving a lot. I wouldn't be shocked if he's going to therapy right now, because he's ready to let it go. He's ready to let bygones be bygones, because now it's like, people hear me. Now people understand. Yeah, literally happiness. It's like, once all of this the dust settles and he deals with it. It's all coming up for him now because quiet on set. But for him, it was like, I have to go on this show because I don't feel like I ever got justice. He doesn't feel like again, I don't know what happened if he was paid or something. I do think Brian went to jail. But again, for him, it was like justice was never served. So that is why he went on quiet on set. There's no ulterior motive here. It's not to... Like, if we do get into the cards and he did hurt somebody else, this was not to make him look good. That was not the point of him going on quiet on set. It was, I've been gaslit my entire youth and adult life. I act out a lot, and I'm seeing Britney Spears head shave, and it's like, but y'all didn't understand why. And now that you guys know why, now I feel like I'm at peace. So I do feel like this was for Drake's soul, if I'm being honest with you. Yeah, success. Usually Six of Swords with Haunted House kind of reminds me of ego, but with this, no. Like, yeah, because you could read this. The Sun and the Six of Wands could read as ego and pride. No, for me, it's like I finally won. It's like chapter's closed. I can move on with my life now. People know what happened to me. It's like, you ever been gaslit by a narcissist and then everybody else believes it and they call you super emotional and it's like, but you don't understand why I'm emotional. Like, I'm being drawn to Brian Laundrie and how, like, he killed his girlfriend allegedly and everybody thought that he was the normal one because he wasn't emotional, but she was. That's kind of the vibe. It's like, this man has been through so much and he's been acting out because he was angry and he was hurt because it's just like, I was R-worded multiple times in a place where I should have been safe and no one protected me. And then you just get a slap on the wrist and then we just move on. I signed a paper. That's it. I got to deal with all this trauma. No one knows what you did to me. Fuck that. Like, honestly, I see his point. Look at all of this strength card, sun card. It's like, I'm not going to let you win. And this always reminds me of Olivia Benson from Law and Order SVU. It kind of looks like her, right? And then you think strength card, which is like ego, and then you think of the R word. So it's like, now I'm the strong one. You know what it's reminding me of? Yeah. It reminds me of the Tony Robbins quote where it's like, I'm going to butcher this. Now I am the voice. I will lead, not follow. I will believe, not doubt. I will create, not destroy. I am a force for good. I am a leader. Defy the odds. Set a new standard and step up. You could Google it. It's a Tony Robbins thing. But basically, I feel Drake being like, now I can be myself. Now, I wouldn't even be shocked if he has like a second wind and wants to like do acting again. I can't really tell because right now I would explain his energy as the Tower card. Like, things are coming up for him to purge and release and he's ready. And I do believe he's doing the work. Which probably means that he will likely not go on to reoffend now that he's dealing with his shit. But, yeah, I think that's really it. Gossip and talk, yeah. I'm glad it's out. Now you see him for what he is. King of Wands. Look at how he's holding like a corpse is how it looks. I feel like Drake was drugged and had to drink alcohol. And this is a common thing with these mother lovers. I think they spike drinks. I think that's that's a normal thing that they do in the industry, period. I see it with the music industry and I'm seeing it with Nickelodeon. It's like giving kids alcohol way too young, obviously, because you got adults that feel like children, and then you got children that end up becoming parentified kids. So they're kind of on the same wavelength mentally, and they're giving them drinks and they're drugging them, and then they wake up the next morning and they don't even know what happened to them. That's Drake's fucking story. Back deck. I'm trying so hard not to use my emotions, y'all. I'm sorry. Victim of circumstances. I want to move on from this. Yeah, with this back deck card, it's like, I feel like I was robbed. He feels like he was robbed of his childhood, robbed of his ability to be a human being, robbed of his ability to love correctly, robbed of his ability to feel safe, feel seen, feel heard. I feel like this was the end of Drake. I think this is why he acted out. I think this is why he pushed people away, why he behaves the way he behaved. It's kind of giving Britney in the conservatorship. Yeah, Ace of Wands is the D card. Yeah. Deception, the shit from the past coming back up. It's like, I needed this resolution for myself. This was Drake's, I'm wiping up this chapter. That's what this was for Drake. This was Drake going, I have a right to say what happened to me, and the people need to know why I am the way that I am. The people need to know that I'm not just this evil asshole for no reason. I'm in pain, and I'm in pain because when I was a child, nobody had my back. Nobody. People were told to shut up. People were too afraid to speak up. People knew what was happening to me with him, but nobody fucking said anything. And I had to fight till eventually I could say something, and then it just became like under the rug. And so he acted out because of it. Yes. Do I think Drake was telling the truth? 1,000,000,000%. Yes, I do, per my opinion, feel that he was telling the truth. And I also, with the core of my chest, I do 100% believe, per my opinion, that Dan knew. I do feel that Dan knew. I see a weird thing going on where it's like the Pathritos that like little boys, they make friends with the little girls and then vice versa. So it's like the ones that you're into, you swoon over until you get them in a compromising position. And then the gender that you're not into, you befriend so that you look good. So I almost feel like, yeah, because like didn't Brian Peck get like pictures with a lot of young girls? And it's like, it's almost kind of a trick for you guys. It's like, if you see me hugging these kids and stuff, then it's like it's normal. But little do you know, you got the wrong gender. Like that's kind of the vibe. It's like, was Brian photographed with like a lot of girls, whereas Dan would have been photographed with a lot of young boys? Because there's a point to that, is what I'm hearing. Like I wouldn't be shocked if, like I am seeing the picture in my mind's eye of Dan and Amanda Bynes. They had a different weird fucked up connection, but I just see them like, I understand their grooming, which makes me feel nasty, but I get it. It's like I befriend the opposite gender so that I can get the T on the gender that I'm into. Does that make sense? So like, say All That, right? The show All That, Drake and Amanda were both on it. If I was Dan, I would be befriending Drake so that I could get T on Amanda. And if I'm Brian, that I'm befriending Amanda to get T on Drake. Does that make sense? That's like how they move. Oh my God. Anyway, Drake versus that girl. Let's find out what really happened. Did he, all alleged and for entertainment purposes only, continue the abuse? So as always, thank you to everybody that sits through 30 seconds of ads. It's a free and easy way to support my page, especially when I do these gross freaking readings. Oh my God, they make me miserable. Anyway, and please do something nice for yourself after you watch this. Watch a happy movie, get the vibe back up, go outside. If you got some sun, some grass, do that. If you enjoy this video, please leave it a like. Subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, let's look at the story of Drake and that girl. Okay. Do we know if Drake was working at the time? Okay, so far, this feels like, see that Three of Pentacles? That's hard. These are two cards about work. So, friction. That could read as sexual tension, but I need more cards before I say anything. Details. Hidden. Okay, so far, this does read to me like Drake being bored and being one of those typical dudes that, you know, blows up your Facebook Messenger with like, hey, what's up? Want to talk? Send nudes. But with that Five of Swords, something's not right about the details, and it feels like it's on her end, if I'm being honest. And y'all know me, I would never fucking blame a victim. This feels like, what was going on in his life in 2021? Because either work was boring or there was no work. There's something here where it's like, I'm bored. I have a little bit too much extra time on my hands. And so I'm just being an F-boy online. That's what this feels like. It feels like right now I'm not in the spotlight. So I don't know if he was not working in between jobs or the job was boring. I don't know what's going on in this chapter of his life, but it feels like Like, I'm seeing someone being bored and, like, reading their Insta DMs and then being like, oh, she's hot, let me talk to her. Like, but I'm going to be honest, that Five of Swords, usually it reminds me of conflict, but I keep hearing details. And the sword is reminding me of thoughts and communication. So, hold on. I don't want to say for sure. Hold on. Okay. The internet. You know what I'm hearing? Fun fact about me, I cry to the song pretty often. There's a song by Justin Bieber, not one of his more popular ones, at least I don't think so, but it's called Lonely. And it's like, what if you had it all but nobody to call? Maybe then you knowed me. Because I have everything but no one's listening, and that's just fucking lonely. I feel like this was a point in Drake's life where he was lonely, feeling low. I think this was a time where, again, it's like I've bottled up my emotions. I'm not dealing with it. He's in the reverse. I don't feel seen. So was he married already? Because this feels like I don't feel like my wife sees me. I don't feel like anybody sees me. And so I'm reaching out to find something to fill a void. Right now, this reads to me like if anything happened, it was like sexual conversations, maybe. This doesn't feel like anything actually happened because Six of Swords is internet. And Page of Cups is like I'm being childish. I'm being carefree emotionally. So I don't know. So far, this doesn't read to me like he actually committed anything too messed up yet. Hold on. Yeah, burden not worth having. I feel like this was more talk than action. Yeah, you're not going to... No, I'm sorry. Listen, y'all know me. I support victims, always. But with that Six of Cups being upright, that's giving me those that don't know history are doomed to repeat it. And it being upright, I kind of believe Drake's story. I almost wonder if it's like, I know you look young, but I'm hoping that you're 18 to 21. It's like, there's something here about, I wouldn't be willing to lose my entire life to sleep with a child. Like, and I know that's not the best approach, but that's kind of how this feels to me. It's like, you really think I'm that dumb? Like, I got somebody else put in jail for this. Would I do that? I think this was more of being an immature man that just needs to not go into other people's DMs. Because this reads to me like playful. And I'm not saying it's okay, but it doesn't feel like, especially Five of Swords, I kept hearing issues with the details. So this almost feels like, and again, I'm not saying it's okay, but it feels to me like it's like I'm hoping you're 18. You look young and you know my age and I'm just trying to have a good like I wouldn't even be shocked if like he was home, his wife's not paying attention to him for whatever reason, he's drinking a lot, and then he goes on Instagram and he reads his messages and someone's into him and he thinks she's hot and so he's messaging back. That's what this feels like. Because 10 of Wands in the reverse is a burden that I don't want to have. So if we're looking at this as, did he SA the girl? If I don't want to have this burden, and with that Six of Cups upright, it just doesn't read to me like he is dumb enough to do that. Does that make sense? I'm not saying that he doesn't have a gray area. I'm just saying that I don't think he would straight up groom a 12-year-old. I don't feel that. I feel that the girl probably felt that she was being groomed because I think he was inappropriate. I do think that. But it doesn't give me like I'm trying to create a bond with you until I can make a plan to sleep with you. It feels more like I'm bored and I'm just fucking with your feelings. Like it gives me the vibe of that ex that you let go of a long time ago, but he always circles back and he messages you and you know that it's not going to turn into anything because he's all talk. Like that's the vibe. It's like With that Tower card in the reverse, it's like, I got my own shit going on. Like, why would I make my life worse? I feel like this is a case of shut up and get out of people's Insta DMs. That's what this feels like. Independence. I wonder if he talked a good game and she feels slighted. Because I'm not saying that it's okay, but this does not feel black and white for me. Is his story that he flirted with her, found out her age, and cut her off? Because that kind of reads like that. Because look at this. Independence. And then this is him. Knight of Cups in reverse. I'm detached. Queen of Wands reads like I'm angry and I'm a woman. So this reads like now she's of age and now she's mad because nothing ever came of it. Listen, you're not going to get me to say something that makes everybody happy. I'm only going to tell you what I see. Does that mean that what he did was right? Talking to a young girl? No, of course not. But I want you to notice that he's showing up as a Page of Cups while she's showing up as a Queen of Wands. So I feel like he's just emotionally immature. And so it's like, if you're emotionally immature, you know how like we got Leonardo DiCaprio always dating 20-year-olds, and a lot of people, and me too, kind of feel that way, that it's like, why are you dating 20-year-olds? But if you think about it from a psychological standpoint and you remove your emotions, a lot of the time the reason is because a 40, 50-year-old man can't get another 40, 50-year-old woman, because more often than not, and I'm not calling men out, but more often than not, women do the work. Whereas men, they'll just kind of go younger and they don't deal with their emotions because we have a society that tells men to be strong while not dealing with feelings, but there is no bravery without vulnerability. So honestly, I feel like society sets up men from the rip to be screwed, but this reads to me like emotional immaturity gone wrong. I also feel like the marriage was ending anyway, especially with the Nine of Pentacles being an independence card. I do feel like Drake is the type of person that needs a lot of words of affirmation, probably. And I don't feel like she gave that to him. And I'm not saying that that's an okay reason to do what you're doing. I'm just simply saying water signs usually need a lot of nurturing. And I just don't feel like she kind of, the wife kind of gives me Hailey Bieber vibes, where like if you're going through something, like let me get your mind off of it instead of being like, let's sit down and talk about it. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like their love languages were different. And so it wasn't going to ever work out long term, because Drake is always trying to find a Band-Aid for the pain that he had, that he just recently dealt with, thank God. So maybe this will shake up for him and he can end up in a healthy, mutually beneficial relationship. But this to me reads as someone who has never felt seen, never felt heard, never felt appreciated, taken advantage of, didn't feel like he had control over his body. And so he became a fuckboy. Like, it's kind of hard for me to be mad at this energy because I just feel like he's dumb. And maybe not currently because he's dealing with this shit, but at least in this chapter of his life, this gives me like, my wife is not meeting my needs and expectations. I'm bored. I'm getting drunk on my couch and I'm reading the Instagram DMs. You don't appreciate me? Well, then I'll find somebody who will. I don't feel like he was out to get kids. I feel like this was one of many women that probably messaged him and he wasn't out there double checking licenses. You know what I mean? So it's weird. I didn't think I was going to believe him, but I actually kind of believe him. I do think he teetered a line. It's kind of giving me the vibe of like, you look young, but unless you say something, I'm going to assume you're of age because why wouldn't you tell me? And I feel from her side, the girl who accused him, I feel like she was enamored by him because they're showing me when I was 10 and I was obsessed with Eminem. I had daddy issues. Don't judge me or judge me. I don't care. I did. I had daddy issues. I don't mind admitting it. But, I feel like this little girl probably had either daddy issues or maybe her parents didn't pay attention to her, but it's given me like, I'm enamored with my celebrity crush. He finally answers me. I feel incredible. And the age just doesn't come up at first. That's how it feels. It's like, let me take advantage of the situation. And I'm not saying that she's wrong for this, because imagine you're like, if I was 10, well, let's say 12, because that's when they say she was allegedly groomed, right? So let's say I'm 12 years old and I send a message to fucking Eminem and then he responds. The first thing I say is not going to be, by the way, I'm underage. I'm going to be like, oh my God, I love you so much. Oh my God, you know what I mean? I'm 12. I'm not going to just offer that shit up. You're Eminem. You know what I mean? Like, so I think what we have here is, I hate to say this because I just don't like, but I feel more of a bruised ego than anything else. And then her, rightly so, feeling like she was taken advantage of. Because she was, to an extent. He was looking for emotional support elsewhere. And she was just one of many that kind of helped him fill a void. So was she taken advantage of? Yeah, but more so like every woman, when a fuckboy's around, gets taken advantage of. It doesn't feel nefarious to me. I'm just not getting nefarious energy. I'm not getting, let me groom you. I'm not getting, let me sleep with someone underage. Honestly, he gives me more Justin Bieber vibes, if I'm being real with you. It gives me, I'm angry at the world. I'll probably take it out on adult girlfriends that I have. That's the vibe. I don't think he wants to be someone who continues the abuse, because I'm seeing the meme in my mind's eye where it's the grandparent that's like, I don't know, the parents screaming, and then the last parent's blocking it off and they're giving love to their child. That's what I'm seeing in my mind's eye. So I just don't buy that Drake would willingly just abuse a kid. I think there was a gray area that was stepped on, but I feel like Drake gives me more Justin Bieber vibes where it's like, I'd rather save people. But I do think that he's not the best as a relationship person. It wouldn't shock me if he like lashes out at girlfriends, but I do feel like he's changing a corner. I think Quiet on Set is really going to change his life because he can deal with what he's been shoving down. And especially with all the support coming out, he's going to need that. And I think it's going to help him because it's drawing me to the clear court. So I do think that he's going to get better. But I just feel like this was just a gray area, a moment of being dumb than anything else. Yeah, with this Fool card, usually the Fool card reminds you of like either new beginnings or it's kind of children, right? That young energy. But with this, yeah, it's almost giving me the vibe of like, oh shit. That's how I would explain this card. So I do believe eventually he found out her age and then it was like, oh shit. I don't think he knew off the rip. It's just not giving me that. I'm sorry. I don't feel, and again, I'm not blaming her. That's why I gave you the whole Eminem thing. Just think about it. If you were 12 and you're a huge fan of somebody and they respond, is the first thing you're going to say at 12 years old, by the way, I'm not legal age? No, because that's a rare, like, Travis Kelce dating fucking Taylor Swift. It's a rare opportunity. You're going to take it. You're not going to be like, oh, and here's my baggage. And oh, and you're not going to share the negatives. You're going to try to wheel them in. And I unfortunately feel like that's what was going on. I feel like he was having a fuckboy moment with that Knight of Wands in reverse. He was trying to avoid conflict with the wife when he was with her. I think he's a conflict avoidant type of person because everything he's been through, it's like, enough. I don't want to deal with conflict. And I think he was just putting his DMs where they shouldn't have been. I don't think that this became anything physical. The cards don't read that way. Not to me anyway. Was there some sort of abuse of power? I mean, kinda. I'm sure he said all the right things and had no intention of solidifying it. So I guess you could call that an abuse of power. Sure. But yeah, it's like, I feel like the moment he found out, he detached. Did he say that? Because it feels like, oh shit, run. Like, it's like, oh, I'm having a fuckboy moment. And then I found out, oh shit, detach. Like, that's the vibe. Yes. Yes. You know why? Because this is fucking Brian Peck right here. And I am not going to be that person. Brian, I'm sorry. You're not going to convince me Drake did anything to this girl. I think he led her on. I think that's what he did. And I think she's pissed. And rightly so, because she was a kid. She got her hopes up. But it was a heartbreak. It just doesn't feel sexual to me. Because this reads, I detached when I found out, oh shit. I was running away from my relationship because there was conflicts. I avoid conflict. This man's conflict avoided. Do you really think that he's going to sleep with a child? That creates so much conflict. Like, so you're not going to convince me. He might have an affinity to younger girls because he's emotionally stunted, but you're not going to convince me that he's into children. I don't buy that. If anything, it's giving Leonardo DiCaprio vibes where he's probably going to date someone younger so that he feels like he's in control of the situation, but not illegal younger. Just more like someone I can have. He wouldn't, I mean, it feels like he's going through some change right now, so I'd have to reread him in like a year or something. If you want that, I could. But the person that he used to be prior to Quiet on Set coming out, it's just fuckboy energy. If anything, like he would have gone on to be another Leonardo DiCaprio where he dates younger women because he feels like he's in control because he never felt like he had control, especially over his own autonomy. So you're not going to convince me that no, I don't buy it. And honestly, I feel bad that he even had to go through this because this reads to me like the moment I found out, I detached because this is Brian Peck with the King of Wands, and then this is the Knight of Swords. You pretended to be a knight in shining armor, and then you hurt me. Why would I do the same to somebody else? He's not like that. You're not going to get me to... That doesn't mean that he's not toxic in his own fucking way. And he was toxic in his own way, but I do feel like he's healing, and I do feel like he's working on it. But this just reads to me like putting your DMs where they shouldn't be, not your... Like, I should have had the Ace of Wands come out if he did this, or the Lovers, Two of Cups even, Seven of Swords. No, this reads like someone who's bored with their marriage and bored at work and trying to find something to feel alive again. So gimme, gimme, gimme attention. That's what this feels like. Yeah. I'm not going to be the monster under that person's bed. I got way too much pride for that. I had to fight my own battles. I'm going to be the person that, I'm telling you, I feel like he didn't know her age. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Or he was naive to it, or he just didn't want to know. Because it's giving me, I'm drunk in bed. I hate my wife. I hate my life. And I just want someone to tell me I'm pretty. Like, that's the vibe. I'm sorry. It just does not read like someone who assaulted somebody. But that being said, I do feel like emotionally he probably did lead this girl on until he found out her age. But I think the only real abuse here is not looking into the age and leading a girl on. That's really it. What's the back deck? Oh, here's a Two of Cups. Wait a second. What? Oh, his marriage. Yeah, it's like I'm not going to fuck up the marriage by doing something that stupid. That's what this is about. Okay, yeah, no, I don't think, no, I don't know. No, you're not going to sell me on this. Sorry. Yeah, I'd have to throw too much money at this. I'm not stupid. I'm dealing with a wife that I don't want to be with anymore. I'm just trying to have a little fun. I feel like I'm drowning. I do think he throws money at things. So maybe his original plan was to shut the girl up because he was afraid. This feels like someone who's afraid because it's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to handle this situation, so let me throw money at it. I don't think he was in a headspace where he could defend himself because it was just like, I already felt so low. That's why he messaged her to begin with, and I'm getting messaged back. So it's like she messaged him first. So I'm not saying it's okay, but I'm simply saying he didn't go out of his way to talk to a 12-year-old child. He saw a pretty chick in his DMs, and he took advantage of it until he found out what was going on. And honestly, I feel like he began to get the ick from her because it's giving me like, you know, when you're young and it's bringing me right back to that middle school analogy where it's like you're all like, ooh, goo goo gaga. So I feel like eventually, because again, when you're emotionally avoidant because you've been through some trauma, you don't actually want healthy love. And I feel like because this girl was so like enamored by him, she was all like, you're amazing, you're incredible, you're this, you're that. And eventually it started to give him the ick. So you're not going to convince me that this was physical. I feel like if anything, it was something that he did to make himself feel better emotionally. And when she realized that it wasn't going to be a real thing, she felt like she was taken advantage of. True, to an extent, it is true, but it's your average taken advantage of. It's not, because I just see him finding out. It's almost like I got in too far. It's like I'm talking to somebody because I don't feel good. I want to feel good again. Now I'm talking to you. You're making me feel good. It's like, ooh, you're scratching my little, like this, it feels good. It's like, you know, a dog getting its ass scratched. It's like, oh, this feels good. But then it's like, I suddenly find, I don't know how he found out. I'm going to be honest, I can't tell. But it's like I find out and it's like, oh shit, never mind. Like that's the vibe. It's like your average ghosting situation. I feel, did he say he ghosted her? Did he say he found out and he was like, oh shit, and then ghosted her, and then she probably stalked him a little bit? Because you know what I'm seeing in my mind's eye is Hailey Bieber and how she was behind all of the Justin Bieber photos when she was young. I'm not saying that she deserved this. I'm simply saying, I'm going to make this reading longer. Hold on. I want to see why she said that. We're going to end with why she said that. All right, so real quick to end the reading so we can get it from her perspective. Why did she say that he assaulted? As always, thank you to everybody that sits through 30 seconds of ads. Free and easy way to support my page, and it makes it a lot easier for me to do these readings. And subscribe if you haven't already. Okay, why did she say that? These are the same cards that came out before. Oh my God, wait. Did he offer her a job? This kind of reads to me like, did she want to be a star? Because you know what I'm hearing in my head is that song where it's like, I want to be famous, I want to be on movies, whatever that song, I can't get that song right. But she did have sexual tension with him. She was into him. I mean, she said that. You don't have to be stupid to know what the Three of Swords, or you don't have to be smart to know what the Three of Swords means. I asked why. Heartbreak. Today for tomorrow energy. I can't move on. She felt like she was slighted and taken advantage of, which, yeah, true, but not to the length that they said. Not to the length that she said. I feel like she got hit with an abandonment wound of feeling like she wasn't enough. Something to do with picking another woman over her maybe, or feeling like, because when did the marriage split up? Because maybe he stayed with the wife, maybe, because this almost feels to me like maybe he said that he'd leave his wife, or that he was in the process of leaving his wife and then he didn't. That's kind of how this feels, because that Six of Swords is like resisting change. This reads to me, I'm so sorry, because I know she's underage, or was, but this reads to me like someone who got their heart broken because they were hoping that eventually they'd end up with somebody who then was all talk and no action. That's how this reads. It's like, we have chemistry, we're good together, and now you break my heart. I thought that we were creating something, but you stay with her. And I do feel like he might have offered her job opportunities too. He might have been like, oh, you're beautiful, I could probably put you on a show or something. But again, I feel like it was just talk. And I think she wanted to be a star too, because I keep hearing that star song. I want to be famous, I want to be on movies. Is that Fergie or something? I don't know. I think she has mommy issues. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah, relationship issues. She was heartbroken. And rightly so. I do believe that he led her on. This reads like, fuck it. Might as well make money then. Everybody needs to know, how dare you take advantage of me? Everybody should know how you move. This feels like a kid that's pissed off. Because I keep hearing the song, jealousy, let it go, results can be tragic, which is reminding me, yep, and now I'm drawn to my little lovers thing right here. I think she was jealous of the wife. I think he probably said some shit like, I'm going to leave my wife, maybe leave my wife for you even. And again, this feels like prior to knowing how old. This feels like all talk, no action. I feel like she got her heart broken because she was young and naive. I feel like she had some mommy issues, so she goes out externally to find, support from others. Maybe she has parents that don't really pay attention to her. I mean, she was talking to an adult, so you could blame the parents on this one. But this feels to me like searching for a relationship and being hit with a dose of realism, to be honest with you. Yeah. Tower. Yeah. Everything. Yeah, this feels like lovers scorned. Everything I put in and you walk away. I was vulnerable with you. I was there for you when you were struggling. I feel like he leaned on her. I feel like that's the inappropriateness that I would pull on. I feel like he was telling her shit about his life, what he was going through. It feels like he's trauma dumping on a kid. So that is where I would draw a line personally, is like, why are you telling a child this? But again, I don't feel like he knew she was a child. It's just like, you look young. I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I'm 32. And sometimes I'll see a guy and I'll be like, oh, you're really cute. And then I find out he's like 21 and I'm like, oh, ew. So, you know, like shit happens. A guy grows a beard and he looks like he's an adult. Maybe she just looked old for her age. I don't know. But it's just giving me the vibe of like lover scorned. Like, I went to bat for you. Everybody was against you. I went to bat for you. I had your back. You leaned on me. I had your back. And I get nothing in return. Like, that's how this feels. I even wonder if, like, she has a father that really doesn't show up for her. Like, maybe her mom works and her dad disappeared, or her mom's just not there for her. Her dad's not just there for her. Because it just feels like a sad story, you know? Just like, yeah, that Knight of Pentacles is slow, consistent growth. But then Queen of Cups reverse, you've detached from me. I thought I was going to be your wife. Like this feels like delusional thinking, but it also feels like a lot of miscommunication, a lot of projecting on one another. He's looking at her as someone to emotionally dump on and build him back up. She's like, oh my God, he likes me. I'm going to be the one. He's going to leave his wife, yada, yada. I feel like he told her about his pain and shit. He crossed a line there. That's where I would say the line was crossed. Like, why are you telling a stranger your marriage woes, your problems? Like, that's the inappropriate that I feel. Yeah, Page of Swords is the back deck. That's communication, and that's usually internet communication when I'm reading my clients. So, Five of Cups is grief. I asked why she did this. I'm sad because of the communication. It didn't last. The Temperance card, we're starting over. And Nine of Wands is like, I put in all this work, but I'm not getting a payoff because now it's a burden. I do think there's abuse of power going on, but it's not physical. Because Eight of Swords, it's a victim of circumstances, but it's really drawing me into the swords, which again reminds me of talk, communication. I think she projected that he was just like Brian. Because look at this. This is the Knight of Wands. This is the King of Wands. King of Wands reminds me of Brian. With that Moon card, it's like lies, what's hidden. I think she projected that he was just like Brian onto him. So maybe like, I could see this being a downfall where he finds out the age, he flips the fuck out on her, and then he tries to remove himself. And then she's like, are you kidding me? You're just like him. You're just like the person that damaged you. You're going to do this to me. Like, I almost see it being like that. I feel like he told her shit that's inappropriate to tell a child. But again, I just don't buy that he knew. Not right away. I just don't see it. It's not there. This reads to me like someone who's upset because in the end she didn't get the man. I'm not saying that it's okay. It's very matter of fact to me. She caught feelings. He wanted someone to ease the pain. He found out. He got bored with her, probably. It kind of almost feels like he got bored with her, too. I think eventually it was just like, all right, well, I don't need a pen pal forever. Like, that's kind of the vibe here. I think he was reaching out to women to fill a void that his wife wasn't filling for him. Again, it's giving Hailey Bieber vibes. You're upset? Let me get you out of the house. Versus, I feel like he likes to talk. So I feel like that was the bond that they had. And I feel like she, because she was so enamored by him, would just let him say whatever he wanted, let him trauma dump, anything. It's like, this is my celebrity crush. I don't care what you talk about. I get to be in your life. Like, this is great. And I think that eventually he just moved on with his life, probably got bored, got the ick, and then it all fell to shit, and then she felt wronged, and then so she went after him. I almost feel, allegedly, I don't know if this is a metaphor, but I kind of feel like, allegedly, no facts here, zero facts. Is it possible that the parents planted in her head to say something like that so she could make money? Because I was feeling parent wounds where the parents just feel absent or not like they're... I don't think they're the worst parents on earth. It's not giving me like industry parents, but it does feel like they're just absent would be the word I would use. So it wouldn't even shock me if she got upset, then went and told her parents, and then the parents were like, well, you can't get him with just that. Why don't you say this too, and then we could get a payday. That's kind of how this feels. So, yeah, I'm just going to leave that there and let y'all I said that's how it feels. I don't know nothing. No facts here. All opinion. All alleged. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to go get some sun. I hope that y'all do the same. Take care of yourselves. If you enjoyed this reading, please give it a like. It does support my page. Subscribe if you haven't already. I would love to have all of you here. Let me know what you guys want in the future videos and the community posts. Thank you to everybody that sat through this video. Love y'all so much. If you want to book a personal reading with me, just a reminder, it takes up to 3 weeks for it to be received. You could book a private reading with me on my website in the description box below. And if you want to know when the readings will be out, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. All those links are in the description box below. If you want to buy any of the books that the tarot decks that I'm using, the description box has all that. All the information you could possibly need will always be in the description box. But Mercury is retrograding me, and all this energy is disgusting, and I need to go. So I love you guys so much. Thank you again for supporting my page. I appreciate y'all. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay humble, stay safe. And I'll talk to y'all later.